Hello everyone and welcome back to the DreamHack Open, live from London, England. It is the home of the Queen. There she is there, having a walk downtown. And of course it is also the home of amazing Counter-Strike and an amazing analysis desk, if I do say so myself. I'm your host, Richard Lewis.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard said on Analysis Day. Making fun of the monarch of our country, the longest reigning monarch in British history. You have outraged me.
And a lot has been achieved under her regime.
You were born and not killed instantly
not thanks to her. I'm not even vying for the throne, Duncan.
Okay.
So anyway, next to me as always is my partner, Duncan Thorne Shields, the world's greatest CSGO analyst.
He said it.
I said it, must be true. And
right.
Joining us are the boys from PGL. It is Henry G and Sadakist. And actually, just on a serious note, boys, and I know we haven't had a lot of that during this desk. Do want to say you guys are doing great work out there in PGL. I think you've made a great casting duo.
Thank you,
no
sir.
joke coming.
Is this sincere?
No.
Yeah, you never know, right? Like, when are we going to get stabbed in the back like every other time?
I know.
Thorin's being quiet. This is the scariest part.
You're the best PGL duo there's ever been.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So
there's only been two.
All the community I know embracing what you do.
Oh yeah, there was that other one. My bad.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, great work, guys. So wonderful to have you on the desk as we go into a battle of the Titans. TSM versus EnVyUs.
Titan's the other French team.
TSM, EnVyUs, veto pending. We're going to wait and see what comes up maps-wise, but just some general thoughts about these two teams. It's the final we thought we were going to get right at the start of the tournament. They did deliver, but this is a, like I say, a titanic battle, and indeed, EnVyUs, stop thinking about Titan. They don't own the word, Duncan.
Right.
So EnVyUs, of course, they've never been beaten by TSM with this current lineup.
These guys definitely are the thorn in TSM's side, just purely down to fragging potential, so good at working as a unit, and TSM being that very aggressive side, we heard MBK say it earlier, they're so good at locking them down and actually finding the frags early on. And it seems like, though you have to say, TSM probably have a deeper map pool than them. It seems like the only map they have seen to beat EnVyUs on so far has been Dust 2. Yeah. And that's the only one I can really see it going down tonight. I still do favour EnVyUs as the main favourite tonight, but hopefully TSM have done their homework and we can see maybe a recalibration from them. We've seen them adjusting their CT setups, especially on Mirage today. We saw some change of roles within that map, so maybe a little bit of restructuring on some others as well to kind of counter what EnVyUs do.
The only gauge we have on these two teams in this tournament directly is that they have both now played Dignitas as well. And the team that was tested more by that Danish squad was TSM. EnVyUs seemed to have an easy road to the final so far. Now that said, it is a domestic rivalry. Dignitas does know TSM a little better, but if you want to read into that alone, then maybe you do favor EnVyUs heading into this. That said, I don't think things are going to be quite as smooth as they were at IEM when EnVyUs kind of had that pug style about them. They had the dark horse factor of the two new players in the roster, and the maps were pre-selected by the fan base as opposed to a strategic vetoing system. Overall, I think TSM's a better team, but it really is 50-50 between map choices and how these teams perform on the day.
Now, Duncan, I just wanted to ask you a quick question before you go into it, and that is that you've always maintained that the secret of a great rivalry is when one team can beat the other on any given day. It has to be even Stevens. Yeah. Well, so far, EnVyUs, since that lineup has come into being, they've had the better of it against TSM. Are we looking at a great rivalry here?
I mean, obviously, so far it has been one-sided. Like, it has looked like whether or not TSM was better, I still think they're better. EnVyUs definitely had their number before. They had the style to beat them, and they had the maps at the time. That's where I think this one's going to be the decider, because this time around, especially with this kind of format, whereas in the Major you have to realize you only had the one ban, and then you're just praying that the second worst map for you doesn't come out in the random selection, so you can never know in that scenario. Instead, in this situation where you can ban twice, I think this is the ultimate test for TSM. Like, if they ban correctly and they get the maps they want, then you can't really complain if you lose. Now, I think TSM can do it. I think they actually have the right map pool, and I think what makes this potentially a very interesting setup is that there's two maps that are really strong for TSM that the guys from EnVyUs do not want to play. And there's two maps that are really strong for EnVyUs where at least one of them TSM definitely doesn't want to play. So if they both teams ban correctly, we could get to maps where it could go all three maps. Right. It shouldn't just be a 2-0.
And where you say that it's ban and then pick the other, that does indicate that the first two maps should favor the team that picks them, and it'll be I think this could go 3 maps on that reason alone.
Yeah, Henry. I think that's absolutely fine. I think the fact we know EnVy are going to ban Overpass, we know they're probably going to ban Train, and so I think we're going to see that the 3 maps are really contest them, and hopefully this will go the stretch as well. I don't want it to be a 2-0. I want to make sure we have close games all the way through and get that third map coming up.
And that's also why it makes it so that in theory TSM is one of the teams who at least has a chance to battle EnVyUs, because EnVyUs is amazing on Cobblestone. We saw them play it today. And that's already the ban that's automatic, usually from TSM against other teams. So if that's their least liked map, they're not going to play it against a team who's very strong. And they've lost on Cobblestone at Gamescom to this team before. So they've even tried it, and it's like they're not going to try that at all.
And you two actually talked about this and had a little bit of a debate about it, because you thought TSM would take out Inferno against EnVyUs, which they've had success against Fnatic, and you still stick with Cobble. I lean toward Cobble, but you had a good argument for it.
I just think that the fact they've played it twice now, and that EnVyUs have taken that pretty convincingly both times. The fact that there's Inferno coming up, and we could see, you guys mentioned that Cash may be a map they could get rid of, but after we saw EnVyUs lose like 15-0 to VP at the last event, that's when you kind of think, oh wow, TSM could actually consider that to be a map against their pool now, right?
I think that's the interesting thing. That's the big question mark for me. It's how will TSM think about Cash?
Yeah.
Because they themselves, I've always thought they were a good team on it. It's always been like a baseline, middle of the pack type map for them. But recently they've been doing that sometimes as a ban or as a second ban. So will they kind of think, right, well, EnVyUs has been beating us, we have to look for a key weakness to attack. And if so, well, that's actually one of the few weaknesses we've seen in this new team is Cash. They haven't been able to master it like the old team did.
I think that's going to be the decider map, if anything. I think that's going to be number 3, and that could be really interesting to see how that one goes down.
When it gets to this sort of situation, and there's all this mind games about what we're going to do map-wise, which one of these people do you think, teams I should say rather, has the sort of deeper map pool? Which
I think it's undisputed at the moment that it's TSM. Because the thing is, TSM have been on the top, like an elite level team for a longer period of time. They've played many best of 5s, many best of 3s, and they've obviously won a large percentage of those. The problem for EnVyUs is, remember, if you have to kind of take the Gamescom tournament out of it because it wasn't really a pick ban tournament. So it's hard to think of those maps even as strengths in certain cases because they might never get to play them as often if someone knows that's your one strong map.
Sure.
Whereas for me, TSM have only really played 2 tournaments that were proper pick ban, which was the 2 ESL tournaments.
The map pool thing as well, that plays a factor into it, but where it's ban-pick format as opposed to ban-ban format, it does mean that EnVyUs are going to get one in that they're more favorable on, and even on the maps that TSM are supposedly better on, EnVyUs is still a skillful enough team that, given the right situation and circumstance, they can still upset them on it. I wouldn't even call it an upset. I would just call it a straight win.
That's why I think TSM has the deeper map pool, because as long as TSM bans Cobble first, every other map, even if it's one EnVyUs likes, TSM at least can play. It's never going to be the scenario where it's like, this is your map, definitely yours. This is mine, definitely mine. I don't think it's going to be like that.
We can talk about the map. It's the play style that EnVyUs offer to them. That's what seems to be the problem for TSM. Against other teams, their map pool's very strong. But what we talked about is Dust 2 is the only map TSM have actually been able to take off EnVyUs so far. It's the play style they struggle against. It's not necessarily what map it is. It's that they can't really handle or contain the EnVyUs players in any given situation.
And it's very likely that the second ban will be Dust 2 for EnVyUs.
I would agree. That would be it. Well, to be fair,
because it's Overpass and Dust 2, I think, are the must bans for EnVyUs right now.
Okay, well, look.
What about Train?
The problem is both teams don't really play that. So the thing is, we don't really know what EnVyUs is like on it to do a degree,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're going to find out very soon, but now, guys, we are ready to go to the stage. So we're going to throw over now to Manchus, who's going to introduce both of the teams in the grand final here at DreamHack London, TSM and EnVyUs.
How awesome is that? You're all getting so loud already. So, like Richard has just pointed out, we are now in the final. We've had a great competition. Have you all enjoyed yourselves? All right, and this is now the cherry on top of the cake. We are here. It's going to be an amazing match. And so I think we're ready, everybody, for the final. please welcome to the stage TSM and EnVyUs. Good luck, guys. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Final, everybody. Here we are. And for the last time of the tournament, it is Cajun B. Beautiful wink, cheeky, cheeky, cheeky. Secondly, we have ZipX, everybody. The captain himself, Carrigan. Still smiling after a long weekend, it is Dupree. And then finally, oh, something's happened there, but he's still looking beautiful. It is Device. Moving on to EnVyUs, the French powerhouses. Number 1 is Kiyoshima. Oh, and the cheer for this next man is going to be huge, I can already tell. Who is it? Who is it? It's Kenny S. Ooh, we all love Kenny, we love him. And then thirdly, it is Happy, the genius, the mastermind, as I called him earlier. Fourthly, we have Apex entry fragger extraordinaire, all-round amazing player. And then finally, the last of the bunch, we have NBK. Okay, so, Dupree, could you come over here? Oh, no, actually, no, let's get the, sorry, that's bad of me. Carrigan, we should get the captain. We should get the 2 captains. Can we get the captain from both sides over here? We're gonna have a little quick chat. First time speaking to Happy. Let's start with you. How are you feeling for this final?
Good.
Man of few words, always has been. Carrigan, what about yourself before we get into a few of the details?
Good.
Okay, making my job very difficult. So overall, you've had a pretty smooth run in this tournament. You've dispatched of your competition relatively easily at most of the time. Are you happy with your performance?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't lose a single map, so it's really good going to the final.
Is there a reason for that? Have you felt very confident coming into this tournament? Have you had a good practice schedule?
Not really, but we are a new team and not a lot of people expect us to be that good.
Carrigan, what about yourself? How does it feel facing off against EnVyUs in their current form? They're looking very strong.
In the past, we had problems with them, so we have to prepare better this time and play better. I mean, we want some revenge from Cologne, where we lost them in the semifinals, so that's what we're going for.
Talking about the problems, apparently you've never beaten this current lineup of EnVyUs. Why is that?
I think IEM we had some bad maps, but at Cologne they were just a better team than us. So this time there's a third map which is different. So I hope that will be in our advantage.
And Happy, how do you feel about that? Do you think that that you've got them figured out? Is that why you've never had a problem with them?
Actually, the map pool kind of favors us right now, so yeah, I think we're confident.
Okay, all right. Sorry, something going on backstage. A lot of shouting. Anyway, so that is it for now. Thank you so much for talking. Shake hands and then off to your stations. Audience, thank you all for being here. You've been amazing. Thank you for being loud and being passionate about Counter-Strike. DreamHack are very happy to have you here. So that's it for now. We're going to go back to the desk and get this final started. Let's do it.
All right, thanks a lot for that, brother. So here we are, right? It's TSM versus EnVyUs in the final. I want to talk about TSM. They haven't beaten this EnVyUs lineup, which is incredible, really, when you consider the talent they've got on their roster. I guess I need to ask you why this is.
Well, it just seems like like we said, this EnVyUs lineup, he just said it's a new lineup on paper. No one really knows how to play against them yet, but that seems to be changing slowly. We've seen them at Dubai actually getting knocked out by an IP. Finally, this honeymoon period seems to be over, and people are working out how they can lock them down. It's all about taking out the star players. If you can work out how to take down Kenny S, for example, or lock him out of the game, take key advantages out of their favor, that's going to be huge. And Carrigan said they're looking into what they can do to actually lock them down now and actually have enough information to base it on and kind of go into a different game plan, I think. So hopefully now it's just going to be about the homework and the preparation TSM have done. They've had time to do that. So let's see what they can bring to the table. It'll be exciting to see where this one goes.
Yeah. So
I think this is actually, if you look at the current EnVyUs lineup, based on the roles that they now fit, I think this has more potential to be successful than the previous lineup. I think the upgrade of Kenny S is massive, and Apex fills the shoes that Shock's left quite comfortably so far. I think he's stepped up. That's been the key to it for me. He has to. But the other guy that definitely gets a little more pressure applied to him is Kiyoshima on the entry fragging. And I think he's been underrated in that role for a long time. So he's got a chance now to showcase himself. And if he does so, and Kenny S steps up as he has done throughout the weekend, this team could be unreal. So TSM's going to have to find a way to lock him down, like Henry said.
Duncan, again, just about this TSM being unable to beat EnVyUs. We talk a lot about matchups, right? When we're doing our analysis, we say, well, the matchup favors them. I don't think people really go into explaining why that might be the case in certain matchups. So can you put a fine point on what it is about this matchup that has favored EnVyUs to date?
Well, one of the things about this EnVyUs lineup and the old EnVyUs lineup is actually that they really can brute force teams. So really intelligent tactical teams like TSM, the trick is you watch someone's demos, and once you have it down, the rough tendencies they do, you're like, right, here's my playbook, here's the 2 or 3 things I'm going to keep going to. It still can work for EnVyUs. They've got so much skill, and that frustrates people because then you're like, you have that point where you have to think, right, am I calling the wrong tactic? Are we just not able to execute
you question your actual tactic instead of your aim. That's what exactly. It's just the raw skill. It doesn't matter what you're presenting to them, they can actually answer back pretty formidably every time.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, and then one other thing to add in is that even though TSM, I think of them as like a hybrid tactical skill-based team, sometimes if they want to, like in some of these games before where they looked like they were messing around against Copenhagen Wolves, they know, right, hey, we can always pull it out of the bag. We've got one of the most skilled lineups in the world. EnVyUs is a more skilled lineup. They're probably the only team in the world that can say, hey, we've got better players man for man than everyone on TSM. So that's actually why I think this is an extremely exciting matchup, because if you're TSM, do you try and still just go skill-wise and let it be a chaotic game? Do you try and say, okay, here's the approach. We have to go purely into our tactics. We have to play as though we're the underdogs, which we very rarely ever have to do, and we'll make it solely about execution. And then, hey, maybe then EnVyUs, they're a little more sloppy in how they do it. Maybe that gives us the edge there. So I think it's actually not so much EnVyUs, it's more like TSM's, they're the ones trying to figure out what is our approach here, because against other teams, it's not going to be the same approach because no one can outskill TSM.
Well, let's talk about EnVyUs then. I mean, you know, we've talked a lot about TSM and their individual talents. You know, we've given a lot of props to Device, rightly so, even though I don't think he's even hit his highest level yet at this tournament. What is it about this EnVyUs lineup that makes them so good? What are the kind of high points here? I mean, is it the addition of Kenny S? I mean, or Apex, or is it some of the old guard in the form of MBK Kiyoshima?
I think it's the only team at the moment at the top in CSGO where there's no defined star player still. We still haven't figured out who it is. So Kiyoshima earlier in the year was very, very good for EnVyUs. Apex, since he's come in, has been like a revelation compared to his form in Titan. Happy used to be the best player in the team when they won the major. He was super consistent. Kenny S once was the best player in the whole world, playing absolutely... I mean, you saw how crazy the crowd went there when he's introduced. He's not even in form at the moment, but everyone knows the potential is there. If he somehow snaps in even for a game, he can just take over the whole game. So it's which way do you want it? They can give it to you any way you want it. AWPing, entry fragging, lurking. They can do everything almost in the game.
Guys, anything to add to that?
I love the partnership between Kiyoshima and Apex. I think it's really cool to watch, especially on maps like Mirage. They can just go through choke points that aren't even favorable towards them, flick shots almost all over the place. Their AK-47 work is scary to watch sometimes, incredibly skilled, and it's one of the best partnerships in the game.
Well, it's actually something where I've got a little detail I'll just add, which is when they first made this team, I made a video and I was speculating, like, oh, how will they do it? Because, okay, Apex was the pure entry fragger in Titan, Kiyoshima was in that role in EnVyUs, and actually NBK reached out and he said, oh, well, what we're going to do is we're actually going to give like a sort of a mini leadership to Apex, and then he's going to have his own little team, which is the entry fraggers, and him or Kiyoshima, he kind of like leads the action, like, hey Kiyoshima, I'm going to do this, you follow up here. So entry, because obviously Happy's the lurker, he's off on the other side of the map, so it's like Happy calls the overall strat, but that particular synergy, there's someone triggering that. It's not just the in-game leader, because he can't know what those two entry fraggers who are explosive are going to want to do.
Well, this is the thing, and that's why Apex coming in, I think, has been the key to improvement, because, and I know where you're going with this, we'll get to that in just one sec, let me finish the thought, is basically that you've got to have a dual entry system. I think it works so much better. And Shock sometimes didn't necessarily want to. He was hesitant. He wanted to make those big plays. You know, he's got kind of that ego that people credit to him at times. And I think with the roles being defined now as they are, and Apex taking that responsibility, I think it's improved them heavily. Because a trade favors the T side. If you get one on the entry, even a refrag, you're going to get into the site.
So guys, what a treat we've got. Dust 2, Inferno, Mirage is going to be the series. It's going to start with Dust 2, and I think I've just been told, is it TSM are going to start on CT?
Here's what's interesting, Richard. So Happy has always been a very confident guy. He even said in an interview after this last EnVyUs lineup split up, he thought the last EnVyUs lineup should have been the best in the world the whole time. They just didn't live up to their potential. As phenomenal a team as they were. Thing is, that applies to maps as well. There's always been certain maps, he's always decided we're better on this map, even than our record shows. Well, I think this particular 3 maps that have been picked, I think they favor TSM actually. I think TSM's good on all 3. They're especially good on Dust 2. Meanwhile, if I'm looking at the EnVyUs guys, they've had a lot of losses on Dust 2, and their Mirage is a brand new map for them. So I think Inferno, they have a very good chance to win, but TSM's still good on it. And I actually think Dust 2 and Mirage, I'm putting them to TSM's side.
From what I've seen from Mirage, from EnVyUs this tournament at least, they seem very strong in it, but the lineups they've played against perhaps haven't presented to them too much. We saw them play against Dignitas, it was a pretty one-sided affair, I think it was 16-6. So they do seem comfortable in it. It's a map we haven't seen them play too much with this lineup, but I do think it's one of those maps, like I was saying, Apex and Kiyoshima can get rolling on that one, get the mid control, get into connector, and start splitting the A-bomb site. It's really hard to hold off, it doesn't matter who you're playing. So I think this is such a great map here. Dust 2, like TSM's best map, we talk about them being the best Dust 2 team in the world. I favor that towards them. Inferno and Mirage though, Inferno I'd say EnVyUs, Mirage 50-50. I'm not really sure what to call that one. So this is going to go all the way, and it's going to be a really great series.
The thing as well that you were talking about with brute force with EnVyUs, and I agree with what we're saying, the dual entry, it puts a lot of pressure on the CT side of TSM. I think the EnVyUs T side is going to be more the threat, because then you go back to what you were saying a second ago, Thorn, about how do you outskill them? Well, you do it tactically, and on their CT side, with new players, new roles, new communication, that's where you're going to beat them. TSM is going to have to use their utilities, create executions that's going to confuse, again, and disorganize EnVyUs. So I really think that EnVyUs, their case to winning this is going to be those entry kills on their T sides.
And in terms of the vetoes, these make total sense, even what we were discussing earlier. So it was obvious to me that Cobblestone had to be the TSM veto. And like I said, the guys from EnVyUs do not play Overpass, so that they're banning that out themselves. Beyond that, okay, there was a little bit more play. They could decide, are we going to ban Train? Are we going to ban Cash? In the end, they did go with those bans, and as a result, we've ended up with what I think overall is a pretty good series, but the problem here, I think, for the EnVyUs guys is on all the maps they have a chance, except Dust 2's the one where they haven't proven it yet. That's the one where there's a lot of question marks for them.
That's the only map they've dropped to TSM.
And that's why I think this is a real tantalizing prospect to open up with, because it could give TSM this head start, give them an immediate advantage, which they haven't had against EnVyUs yet.
And their CT side is incredible on that map. So to go back to the point I just made, if the T side for EnVyUs is going to be important, this map's going to be the hardest challenge.
And if you want to talk just as the decider, this is a perfect decider, not only for like the TSM EnVyUs matchup, but for where TSM is as a team. Because when TSM became not the #1 team, but that scary, dangerous team that was winning titles, beating Fnatic left, right, and center, the map that changed in the pool and turned it to them was Mirage. They became this team that was, everyone had the good CT side Mirage. They had the good CT, and then they had like 7, 8 T rounds. So that was the key. And as they started to lose that recently was where they stopped kind of being the team that were always winning the tournament, where suddenly they could lose in a semi-final. Sometimes Fnatic didn't even have to play them. So I think if they can win Mirage here and beat EnVyUs, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, show like, hey, maybe we are going to be the #1 team now, and we've got Mirage back again. Now the map pool's back in our favor.
So guys, when the TSM players come out with that huddle, we are going to go live. I need to start nailing you down for some predictions. Let's just start with Dust 2. How do we see this one, and how is it going to go?
I think if you're basing on statistics and who we think's the better team on this map, it's going to be TSM for sure. So I'm going to say them taking this first map. It's going to be really close, like 16-13 probably.
Yeah, I was thinking 16-14. I also want to highlight something as well is the setup on the CT side. Everyone always looks to Cajun B to hit those op shots, those crazy op shots on the catwalk. But the player for me that you have to watch is Xyp9x inside that CT, being able to support, making sure no one drops down, getting the flashes up to allow it. So he's going to be an integral part of this game, and he's been playing really well this weekend. So
and you
I
noticed
want
in
to
the huddle having a long conversation with Carrigan. I think they got someone up their sleeve, don't they?
Yeah, I actually think that this is going to be a TSM win. This is the one I'm most confident about. So I'm thinking like 16-10, 16-11. And I actually think Cajun B is the man. This is like his map. This is the one where when he has a crazy map on this, that's why not only are they really good, they're unbeatable at times on this map.
Okay, well guys, look, thanks a lot for your thoughts. We need to get into this final. Let's get this show on the road. It's going to be TSM versus EnVyUs. Dust 2's the first map, and DreamHack know what you want. That's why you have got the premier CSGO casting duo casting these finals. Take it away, Anders and Semler.
We're going to be leading into Dust 2 first, and I've got Semler here with me. Tell me, Semler, I mean, it seemed like the panel were favoring TSM on this first map here, but it said a close game. I mean, when you get to 16-14, 16-13, it's almost too close to call at that point, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, exactly. Oh, ye of little faith. I have to follow with my French brethren on this one. I think Envy are going to take this best of 3. I think that they're going to lock it down. 3 maps maybe. We might actually have TSM picking up a map here, but I think Envy are going to win it in the end.
If they do win it, it's going to put so much pressure on TSM as well, isn't it? Leading into Inferno, that's such a strong map for Envy. I feel like this is important for TSM to really win it.
And Mirage as well. Envy have done a lot of homework on Mirage. They're very comfortable on that map. If it goes the distance, remember in the first semifinal, Envy got to watch all of TSM on Mirage. They saw all the changes that were made. They know what's coming at them, so it's the perfect map to finish it. But before we get that far, let's get into Dust 2. It's going to be the first map of this best of 3 grand finals here at DreamHack London, and we're not wasting any time at all. We're going straight into the pistol with TSM starting on the defense, Envy is starting on the offense.
Device trying to occupy a lot of space in the middle. He's got Karrigan moving up, so it might have been a bit of a shield. Just making some noise and pushing down here. Karrigan's still up there, and he's going to run right into Happy, and he's going to get killed for it. Picks up that. He's got the Zeus in the middle. Device, really? They must have seen that. Surely this is not going to work. Just fires it into the air. It's going to be a good start here for Envy.
And they're going to set it up for the B-take here as well. Deep flash going in. Apex rounds the corner, checks card, nobody there. It's going to be Dupree holding up Plateau. He loses the support from his teammate at door as well, but what is this? Dupree, what a start. 2 headshots. He's still playing peekaboo back here. The last man alive, Kenny S, not going to be able to accomplish much as Dupree, he ends it in style. 3 headshots in the pistol.
Really well played from the back line there, ducking and standing up really quickly and just making it work. Those headshots shutting down Envy in spite of a really good smoke and a really good entry for Envy in the middle.
It seemed like it. Device was down to 1 HP. He could give no support to Dupree. Dupree just had to live, but he goes 1 step further, or 3 of them. So 1-0 lead now for TSM, having picked up the pistol, but of course Envy, in true Envy style, they're going to go for a force buy of their own. Pistols, armor, and the scout on Happy, not on NBK.
And they've really done a lot of damage to Cajun. He's down to 18. I mean, everybody knows, even if this is the first Counter-Strike tournament you've watched, you've already been introduced to Envy. Their strength, a large part of it is winning the second round. And even against top teams, they do it. And TSM, they must know that. So the fact that Cajun's down to 18 health, it's not just nothing. It could spiral out of control very quickly. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kenny's going to try and make a jump down CT spawn. That'd be interesting.
That's what it's looking like right now.
Sipnix is down there.
They have the flash. There it is. What's up? Surprise, surprise. And he's even doing big damage to Device, who's stuck on B slope. He's pinned down. Nowhere to go. They actually have to use the smoke to get him out of that situation, but the bomb is going to get planted for Cat, and now it comes down to whether Envy can hold. Karrigan trying to have his say with the UMP, and Happy picking off his teammate Cajun. Cajun is down.
There's a good mid-air headshot from Karrigan, but it is way too late. TSM aren't even trying anymore. That was all it took. 1 jump down. Device, as you said, trapped up against that wall. Couldn't really do anything. Dupree and Device going to try and save what they have left here, and Envy, they do it 1 more time. Second round pickup after losing the pistol. It's ridiculous how good they are at it.
It's exactly. It's actually unreal how consistent they are at picking up the second round. That's why it's like they're struggling to pick up pistol rounds that much. I mean, it continues. TSM winning the pistol here, but then in the second round, it's almost as if it's part of the game plan. They just want to wreck TSM's economy because now TSM are in a bit of a tight spot. Do they go for a force buy of their own, or do they try and save for nades in the first buy round?
I mean, Sipnix almost had the timing for it. If he had been a little bit further up on that ramp, then he would have caught Kenny jumping up on the ledge, and that would have been instant death. There's no way you can survive that. Doesn't quite work out that way. NBK counting in the middle. How many people are going to be crossing? And Karrigan maybe expecting a B rush, which is actually something that Envy would do in a round like this, just to make sure that they weren't sort of slowly whittled down by the M4A1 on Dupree, or maybe not so much the P90 on Device, but still.
As far as that M4A1 is concerned, playing in mid for now, and actually they spot it. He's down to 50 HP already, Dupree, but Kiroshima's dropped down to 11. Fair trade for the most part. But they're very, I mean, this is very patient play from Envy. You could expect some kind of rush, but they really want to see, they want to figure out what exactly TSM have gone for. Did they go for the force buy, or are they just going to be playing off these 2 rifles, or the 2 guns, basically, as dupreeh wins a duel straight up versus HyperX.
Very important fight to win there. He doesn't have the health to go and check if anyone else is there, so they don't quite have the information that there is a catwalk push coming. Device is hiding in that corner while the rest of Envy are pushing up onto the A-bomb site. But if they win this fight down here against Happy, it could still work out just fine for them if they control long, and there it is, easy kill. AK that they can pick up as well, 5v3 here. It's gonna be the retake. This might be up to NBK with that scout. He's very good at it. He's gonna miss the first shot, down to 75 health, hiding behind the barrels. Goes for one more shot. Kenny's there to help out. It's a headshot on Sipnix, and he's gonna go down. It's all on Kenny. 1v3, takes a kill, turns around, catwalk. He needs to land one more shot. He's gonna get a double, but Device comes in with a double kill, and that's gonna be it. Should have the time for the defuse as well, even without the kit. Oh, does he have a kit or not? Well, I think he just has it. No. No, he doesn't! Oh, no! We couldn't know, but there it is. Envy, they managed to win that round. Kenny, he stayed alive for just exactly 1 second longer than TSM would have won it. Unbelievable.
Here I am thinking, Kenny, why did you challenge the second man? After killing dupreeh, you didn't need to.
And that's a really good point to bring up. And I mean, this is the pressure of playing in a finals like this. You make tiny mistakes. He had plenty of health. He already had the triple kill. Could have just waited, and it would have been 100%. But still, really good job on his part.
I was getting him fired up. He manages to tag dupreeh as dupreeh jumps over to the B site, and he's definitely communicated that to his teammates. Look at that. Everybody milling around in upper halls for Envy. They're thinking about it. But that smoke goes up, and that's going to buy enough time here for Envy to start doubting the play, and they're going to start backing up, trying to change it up. And Happy, look at this, walking straight out onto Cat again, trying to suss out the defense, but Cajun B will take his face off immediately. No real info gained either. He's just like, well, I don't know who actually killed me. Where did it come from?
And as a response, Envy decided to just go for a bit of a B split here. They've got HyperX walking out into the middle while 2 people are holding the B bomb site, and they need a bit of help because one of them is very low, and that's dupreeh hiding in the corner with that P90. HyperX still stuck in here, but the rest of Envy, they are creeping in, and dupreeh, he's gonna be, there's no flashbang. Oh, there it finally comes in. dupreeh not peeking behind it. There it goes, sprays down one. Actually, Device getting the kill and trying a little bit more in the background. Pistols out, but Kenny and Kiyoshima gonna open up this bomb site. And Sipnix, he gets the shot through the smoke, and it's a very important kill.
And the timing here for Kerrigan, this is going to be key. He can catch him out, but HyperX backs off right into the open, and there you go. The timing was perfect, but Kenny decides to take the fight to him, goes out onto B slope and takes out Cajun. But he's only got 26 seconds left and not enough life to take a straight up fight. He gets overwhelmed in the end, and TSM come right back into this map swinging. But that timing, I mean, basically Kerrigan right there, him rotating into upper dark, that made the difference. Getting that 2-pronged assault onto the B site with the retake, that's what it's all about. It's catching somebody like HyperX out of position, out in the open, and getting a free kill.
I think mentally for TSM winning that round is really important because they should have had that last one. They really should have. And the fact that they ended up losing it means their first real rifle round here was really important. But on the flip side here, Envy did lose a lot of members. It was just Kenny, and he even went up with the bomb, I think, at the end. Or he died to Device, so that means nobody survived that round that they won. And ultimately, that means they've just not got the money here, even with the plant. They just can't buy.
This is, depending on Kenny, what did Kenny go for? P250, yeah, they're going to be prioritizing that AWP. They have to be. Well, Kenny's the first one to die, so he's going to get plenty of time now to think about what he wants to do as NBK takes out Cajun. Huandig is here, 11 HP left on Sipnix as well. He'll get overwhelmed by HyperX, and they're doing good damage here, although jumping down into CT Kiyoshima falls right into dupreeh's waiting arms, and this is going to turn into a situation where it's looking pretty unlikely for Envy to get the bomb plant. I think the bomb got dropped off of the platform, and losing NBK, who had to try and go and get that bomb, it just wasn't meant to be. No bonus money this time around for Envy.
But I mean, if you look at the positions they end up occupying in this round, if the bomb goes down, then Happy's position in the middle suddenly becomes incredibly dangerous. He actually has to move out because all of a sudden they're losing control of the bomb site like that. If the bomb goes down, I think Envy could win this round just based off Happy lurking around in the background. So they're setting themselves up nicely.
Now they got the guns, and Envy, okay, so Kenny actually has to go for the Galil. But this is going to play into Envy's style as well. Not waiting necessarily on Kenny to create an opening with the AWP, rather just be able to pounce on TSM when they spot weakness.
Well, they've done so much damage to TSM as well in these rounds. Even with just pistols, they know that TSM aren't really going to have an AWP anyway, so I don't think they desperately need it. Good opening frag here from Sipnix, and it's going to set up a flashbang. Device going to run in behind it with that P90, and he goes down to Kiyoshima, flashed or not, going to get that kill.
little sloppy. I mean, one detail to note here is that TSM, man, they're all on M4A1s. A4 not to be found here. So they are, despite the change, they're willing to stick with the gun. That might be, we'll see how that plays out. Right now, it's just going to be a touchdown nade dunking on Dupree. And well, Zipnix, no luck this time as far as picking off Kiyoshima.
And you could tell they're not even really trying for it here.
No.
They're already walking back from that B-bomb site. There were some really confusing things going on in this round. I definitely think Zipnix should have set up for that pop flash in middle. What I don't understand is they were both there. Why didn't they at least both peek at the same time? And also, when Device wasn't hitting, like with that P90, you don't have to commit to that spray. I mean, it's great if you kill someone, but they already had one kill. They could have just waited and saw that there was a couple of people middle falling back. And if they try and chase them, they have a crossfire with Zipnix and CT spawn. So I think TSM just actually trying to force that fight in the middle a bit too much.
These are like confidence plays, aren't they? Where it's just like you have to know that you're going to win that duel. And a player like Device as well. I mean, a star player, as Thorin likes to say, it's just he needs to know that he can face and win these kinds of fights. This time it didn't go his way. But we'll see next time. I mean, they are going to save 3 rifles, so it's not the end of the world for TSM. This doesn't mean an eco situation. They should be able to get a good buy going into this next round. And now it's going to be on Envy and what they decide to do. One thing to note is that Kenny's actually top fragging right now. No, it's still early on in the map, but that's also really solid for him. A player that we are used to seeing drop insane numbers. He has been lagging behind lately, so for him to be leading the charge, that bodes well for Envy.
Yeah, absolutely, because you can also kind of... I think if Kenny's like at the bottom of the scoreboard, it's harder for him, I think, to get back up on top. I feel like everybody else on this team will slowly grind their way back. If not on this map, then on the next one, they seem to be mentally really strong.
Well, it seems like TSM are trying to adjust now. Envy keep wanting to go towards that B site to get the bomb plant. They've had success there so far, so what did TSM do? They adjust. They bolster the defense there and leave A site a little bit more open, so we'll see if Envy are going to be able to pick up on this detail. Seems like Happy's got an idea of it at least. He's putting 3 guys up on Cat, so this could get a little bit tricky here for Cajun. He doesn't have his AWP, so he's going to have to take this position on A slope. But it's not Happy leading the way this time, so we'll see if he can actually get the headshot to stop things.
Well, right now it's looking like a really good read from the French side. They are setting up nicely for an A hit. Only 2 people defending, which means they've got to win the battle on long. That's a really important one. Carrigan ready and waiting, takes down Apex, but still another player down here. Happy lurking about. Cajun taking a fight, but if Carrigan dies, then Cajun's on his own. He's got to win this fight. Now Cajun's going to go down and Carrigan sandwiched in on long, and this is an awful position. 32 seconds left. The bomb is going to go down, but Happy sprays and he doesn't actually connect. Zipnix comes up with a double, and that's going to be the retake. A triple kill all of a sudden. Envy, they got the bomb down, but Sumner, they got caught weirdly on the catwalk there by Gandalf. They just never made it out.
Was it just me, or did that feel like a really long execute? Like, it just, the nades were going out. Okay, they're going to push. No. Okay, well, more nades. Okay, they're going to push now. No. Like, it felt like it just never really came. And so once all those nades start coming in, it seems like TSM just like, right, okay, A site, start rotating. And by the time that bomb is going down, it's too late. Everybody's there for the nades. So a little hesitation. Maybe that's, we're talking about the honeymoon period where Envy are trying to iron out the wrinkles right now. That might be one of them where they're still trying to figure out the pacing for certain plays. Still, they're going to be able to buy in this round, so it's not the end of the world. They could actually do some pretty big damage here to TSM by resetting their loss money.
Maybe they had an idea that there was someone else on, aside from Cajun on that bomb site, because as soon as they killed him, they should be able, they don't even have to do anything, they just put down the bomb and everyone else finds a post-plant position, and then, you play for the retake, or you wait for the retake to come in. It seemed like you're right, they were slow or delayed a lot. Maybe they thought they had like a specific setup in mind that TSM might be running, and they were waiting for that. Because it gave just enough time for the B-bomb site guys to come into play. Zipnix with that really great round.
You got to give it to Zip. 3 kills. I mean, this tournament, he's been very strong. Yesterday in the group phase and today so far in the brackets. Been looking very good, Zipnix. But again, EnVyUs, they want to change it up again, trying to keep them guessing. Envy, I mean, they're going to head over towards this A side. 2 guys dropping down onto CT slope, and they're actually just going to jump across. Looked like target practice there for a second, but Cajun's going to get overwhelmed.
That was a perfectly synchronized double jump there. I love it. Carrigan there with a headshot, going to be taking down Kiyoshima. It's a 4-on-4 retake. 3 of them are in CT spawn. That's a huge risk here. Very tricky to retake from this position. They are going to be trying to walk up the slope here, looking for a couple of headshots, but not landing them. There's the pre with 1. They need a lot more here. That bomb is ticking, and the TSM members, they're dropping low on health as well. No grenades left on the Envy side, so it's going to be all down to the AKs here. They're being slowly pushed back while the bomb is being defused. They're going to have to peek. It's been a long time coming, but it's not enough. Zipnix, he sprays down both, and he's got the kit. But I definitely think it's just going to be enough time time. No, it won't. Once again, it goes through. And Envy 4-4. That's twice now, Semler.
I don't know if my heart can take more rounds like this. If the whole finals is going to be like this, Anders, I don't know if we're going to handle it. This is too much. They literally, all they had to do,
Look,
that was beautiful. Synchronized jump baiting right now. That's what we've got here from Envy.
I am seriously wondering if the first guy defusing on TSM, he couldn't have had a kit, could he? I think he was defusing without the defuse kit. Because it went through for a long time. Either that or it was down to the last nanosecond. Either way, this round, it's armor, pistols, and a single M4 for TSM already. Dupree is gone and Happy lurking out here, but horribly missing the spray. And Sipnix with a quick reply here as Kenny goes down. He just needs one more shot on Kiyoshima, and it's going to go through. So a decent position here for the Danish side.
So this is pretty scary because Device is going to start playing. I mean, there it is. What is that? Apex decides to go jumping through. I don't even know what's going on at this point. He just decides to feed himself to Xyp9x, who's got a gun, and now he's got an AK to work with. We have Device on a mission, starting to push through. Finally, though, we have Cajun actually rotating in to support Xyp9x. It's a little bit too late, but the defense is solid here for TSM. And so much time is being wasted for Envy. If they can get this bomb, they're not going to have a whole lot of time to make the play.
Cajun's close. He's got the armor, and he sees the shadow, but jumping in his NVK is ridiculous. Cajun's gonna have nightmares about that. Device takes one more. Kiyoshima, who was tagged up so early by Xyp9x, still gonna be living on 20 health, and they win that round just barely. I mean, it was minimal equipment for TSM, but they forced that round. Now they're gonna have to probably eco fully here.
So they have to be feeling pretty good. I'm actually wondering if they decide to go for it. Hell for leather, just go for the buy. Now, okay, they were a bit too low. 2,300 around there, so 2,200, just not gonna be good enough. But they've done so much damage to Envy. This is a round where Envy need to win it, and they need to win it decisively. They can't afford to drop anybody because their money is very low after that last round. They don't want TSM to be able to win a round and put them back on eco. They need to start really chaining some rounds together here.
Honestly, Xyp9x seems completely beast mode right now. He's just hit like a new level already here on Dust 2. It's crazy. And Sadicus was telling us that here's maybe a guy to watch for on this particular map. Apex trying to take a bit of a fight here with the Galil into the B bomb site, and is feeling brave. He knows that they're there and trying to bait him out. Device will take down MBK, and next in line, Apex is gonna fall.
What in the hell is going on, Manders? All right, Kenny rotates in, takes out the one. Kerrigan trying to push out from Longhouse isn't gonna get any joy there with the backstab. But Kenny's deciding to come in here and get the job done himself, but again, another headshot onto him. Finally, they dunk a nade onto Device. But Xyp9x is now rotated in, and he nearly takes Kiyoshima out. Was that just a wallbang shot?
Yeah, I think it was. This is just a very interesting match already. Cajun gonna run through, but Happy's got the perfect timing for it, and will end up dropping him. And it seems like Envy are getting control of this round. The bomb is being put down, and now it's just pistols and no kit here. Yeah, not a lot of chances. So pretty well done by Envy, I think, just managing to contain this round and not end up giving it up. Xyp9x is going to get a kill, but Happy will shot him down for the triple kill. And it's going to be 6-4 lead here for the Envy side.
You know, Anders, the feeling that you're getting watching this match, you know, there's nothing subtle about it. There's nothing subtle in this match. It's literally a bare-knuckle boxing fight or something going on. It's just bloody, vicious. They're going for the eyes. I mean, they just keep challenging each other when there's no reason to. They're just like, no, I'm actually going to beat you up right now.
This is part of the this is why top-level Counter-Strike is so different and so interesting, because if it was TSM versus Fnatic instead, you could bet Fnatic would be a very slow and careful team here, really trying to sort of measure up TSM round for round. Envy, yeah, they have a slightly different pace to them, don't they?
No fear. That's the approach.
I mean, Thorin was alluding to the idea that maybe TSM should then try and play a more tactical game and not just actually engage in this kind of bare-knuckle boxing, but they're trying to do it, challenging on Catwalk, and they're losing 3 players already. Kerrigan coming, but there's too many targets here for him to hold. I think he did actually hit a ridiculous headshot on Kiyoshima while flashed, but it won't make a difference. They're going to have to eco or save here, and that's just a brutal start to a round.
And I love that NBK is still waiting around in Upper Dark. Like, what is NBK doing? He's all by his lonesome, just hoping to catch somebody off guard. There is absolutely no reason for Device to think that somebody's already up here. But he's been spotted, and now the damage is being dealt, and NBK shows that he can land headshots with pistols too, and he's looking for the follow-up as well. NBK, no saving this time for TSM. He just tombs the both of them.
Did you see the face of Nex behind him? It looked like he was actually looking at MBK thinking, I'm not even sure, how did that even work? How did you do that? Like, he was looking concerned on TSM's behalf, you know.
Actually concerned, yeah. I had 2 shots as well with the scout here. That's a real pleasure to watch. But all 5 players survive for Envy, so this is actually a bit problematic now for TSM, who are going to be once again put back to pistols. Whereas Envy now can start generating quite a bit of a bank. They mess up their smoke as well. This is a huge mistake, but Dupree gets the punishment regardless. Kiyoshima follows it up, and they just go leaping into the B-bomb site. No fear at all on Envy's side. And Happy, not going to be bested this time by Kerrigan.
Wow.
Very fast round.
So, I mean, if you're a huge TSM fan here and you're starting to get really worried, I definitely venture to say that TSM are going to be playing better on their terrorist side than on the CT side of this map. So I wouldn't really be too panicked. Get 8-4 though, definitely a really good lead for Envy. And as we go into the 13th round, I think TSM do need to clock at least 6 rounds here in the first half. I think that's like the cutting off point here. So that they kind of have to make it work now. And a leg shot through the door there, going to bring Dupree down to 19 health.
Yeah, Kenny's on point with his Magic Stick today. He has been so consistent hitting those cross shots, and Cajun, he gets spotted. You can see the frustration clear, evident on Cajun's face.
Yeah.
He's just like, they were waiting for me. They had me read like a book.
But I think actually the frustration probably, he should have had that kill. He had just enough time, I think, to be able to land that flick there. Just didn't connect. And now they're playing much more defensively, as you can tell by the setup here.
Oh. A little bit of nade damage going in as well. Not going to connect with anybody, and now they decide to slow things up once again. Envy, right past the minute mark. They've had Kiyoshima waiting outside a long house as well. No push this time from Kerrigan, but I do like these are subtle adjustments that are being made by Envy that based off of what they've seen from TSM.
Well, Device with a shot there to bring down Apex, and they've wasted a lot of time here, Envy. We're down to 35 seconds. Cajun going to be dropping Happy. It's looking good here for TSM. Refrag on Sipnix, and another one goes through. If MBK got the 3rd one, that'd be scary. Kenny doesn't hit that shot, but Kiyoshima will, and it's down to a 2v1. 25 seconds as the bomb goes down. He's got the orb. He's going to jump one challenge. He's not going to hit it this time, and he's down to 10 health. If they had a grenade, it'd be over, but he's going to repeat once again right into the pre-fire there. And Cajun, triple kill in the round, and TSM will barely pick it up.
Yeah, well done on TSM's part.
I mean, this was what needed to happen. If they'd lost that round, it'd be 9 rounds for Envy, and it'd be sort of smooth. I mean, they could essentially consider the first half victorious, I think, and it'd be an uphill struggle. Now, it's pretty much anybody's game. We're at 5-8 and leading into the very large stage of this first half. I mean, this grand finals right now is looking super competitive. And look at Kenny and Happy. It's double up on either side.
Oh, and there's the shot from Kenny. He's hitting everything right now. This is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, really good job on him there. Sipnix down to 21 health. Trying to play long early on. He's probably going to have to fall back here. And Dupree boosted up in CT spawn, which is a play that's designed to counter a mid to B split push here. You get a lot of information. You see it coming early on, and you can try and kill them as they walk up the slope there.
Now they gather, and Dupree is actually going to be waiting. Yeah, Device solo on the B site. This could be really nasty. Once again, Envy, Happy in particular, making the correct call based on the information, but Device locks it down. Kenny going to try to not follow that up. It's NBK trying to return the frag, and that's not going to work. They're actually trying to pick up the AWP, and it's Apex who thinks he's going to go toe-to-toe with Device. But the Dane is having none of it, and Envy, they're hightailing it out of there. They're trying to change up the plan last minute here.
That must have been a good confidence boost for Device. He needs to really step it up. I mean, we've been talking about it all the tournament long, but he is absolutely a star player on this team, and a couple of frags there probably going to help. 30 seconds now, and in the 14th round, they're going to make their way out. Catwalk Cajun there, easy kill on Kiyoshima, and that should really finish the round, and indeed it will. Happy, the only one left with 20 seconds, 6-8. If they get 7, this is now a very open game.
And both of these teams have the money to re-up on double up if they want, so I like that we're starting to see the full extent of the options of the tactics coming out for both teams. Envy is willing to go for the double AWP play themselves. Cajun, yeah, that's the thing. That's why that highlights why you need that flash. You have to have gear if you're going to be going over onto the A site and you haven't dealt with the Opera who plays cross. You absolutely have to flash Cajun out. But here we go. Haven't seen a straight-up rush for a while. Dupree in danger of getting overwhelmed, though. He's just barely going to get the reload off in time, but it's not going to help. NBK will catch him, and somehow Cajun B misses the first shot, misses the second, and he's just going to walk right into NBK for the third. What was that? Kerrigan is now the last man alive. I mean, he does catch Happy, so he doesn't have to worry about having anybody at his back, but a 1v3 retake on the B site, that's unlikely.
Yeah, Kenny just plain says no. That's going to be EnVy winning the last round there. Really good job on their part, and we end up at 9-6 here in favor of the Frenchman. A truly ridiculous round, in my opinion, for TSM. There's no reason why they lost that round at all. They had 3 people in that B-bomb site. They even see the rush coming early. There's a Molotov up, and they've got the first kill as well. They should be able to make the call immediately to run back in the bomb site and just contest the main push that's coming through. Forget about the middle. But this is the problem with TSM. It's been for a long time. That B bomb site, there's something that's not quite working. When you stack 3 people in B, that's an automatic win if there's a B rush coming like that. It should really be.
I mean, I think we also have to kind of tap Cajun on the shoulder there for that round in particular, just because, I mean, those were 2 shots. The first one, okay, but the second one, like, you have to, that's a must-hit shot. Yeah. You cannot allow that opportunity to pass, especially when you hit 2 shots on Cat the round before, right? So your eye is in. But now we swap sides, EnVy on the defense with TSM on the offense. And we're right into the pistol. Kevlar pretty much across the board.
Look at this Apex. He's on a wild and crazy adventure into the CT spawn, or into the T spawn, sorry. He's going to be running right into Cajun B, and he gets shut down. He forgot to look both ways, Semler, and now he's gone. Kenny also flashed and gonna have to fall back on Catwalk. They're in the A bomb side. They're gonna get the bomb plant. They've got no grenades, but they've got a lot of armor and health left here, and they've got Cajun lurking at top mid, walking right in here to take the fight. Is Kiyoshima gonna shut him down? And we've got a full 4v4 retake.
Yeah, now the decoy fake. Let's see if it actually works. Nobody turns away. They're not falling for it. Instead, they get a bullet to the face from Kerrigan, and Zipnix is holding. This is a perfect crossfire setup. Kiyoshima trying to do the best that he can. He attempts a Cali, but it's not going to work. They managed to fall back in time, and TSM, this is textbook stuff. Waste time, get him on here. He's got a kit, he's got the quad. Can he get the ace? Yes, he can, but does he actually have time for the defuse? No, he doesn't. All 5 kills for Kiyoshima, but he can't save the day this time.
It's the pistol ace into a lost round. That has to be one of the most tragic things I've seen in a very long time. And you notice something right there. You saw how the EnVy players initially they were jumping to look into the CT, into the bomb site, and they stopped doing it. And that is definitely the new patch coming into play. They realized that against the Glock at that range, that's almost instant death. So they had to stop trying to do that. What a sickening round though from Kiyoshima.
And that's both pistol rounds now picked up for TSM. So now we have to see, can EnVy continue with the trend? No, Cajun is going to take out Kiyoshima, but they're not done yet. EnVy, they're still able to turn this around, but the B side is open, and that bomb should be making its way over there, no problem at all. And EnVy realizing this, they're just shifting it up. Trying to figure out if they can catch somebody out of position, and long perhaps Device lurking in mid will find NBK. And that leaves the 3 remaining members here for EnVyUs gathered up, hoping, crossing their fingers that, oh, they'll get a bit of a surprise. Device gets 2 out of it. But that's now Kenny holding onto an AK. That could do some damage in the next round. And I don't think TSM really should be out hunting too aggressively on this one, just because.
Maybe with the UMP, I'd be okay with Dupree doing it. They've got no flashbang stuff, so they can't really give him a good setup here, but there's no armor, no head armor at least on Kenny, so that could steal away the AK, but we'll see.
I guess my main concern is Zipnix and Cajun. You know, like, do you want to risk losing more rifles to this?
No, I wouldn't want to, definitely not.
Let's see, I mean, if they can find the shot long range, Dupree taking point, no problem at all there. But we lose Zipnix now. Kenny finally connecting with the shots, and Happy's just going to go charging through. He's like, the bomb's about to go up anyways. They can't actually kill Kenny unless he makes a mistake, so see if he can't get lucky, pick up a 3rd kill. That's not going to happen, but now they have the AK for the next round here, EnVy. And 2 kills out of that round. I mean, it's still not ideal, but it's some damage going EnVy's way.
Yeah, in many ways it would have been more fun for EnVy if Happy could have stayed alive, just because he had the armor and then they could have, you know, swapped it over to him. But it's still pretty good, and Kenny actually does buy body armor in this round, so just trying to optimize his chances here. NBK over at long, putting a couple of shots through, but Dupree doesn't want to play that game.
Yeah, not ideal either, because Kenny was setting up to watch Cat. Now he has to worry about getting flanked out on long. Might actually get boosted up onto the A side here, but Kerrigan's going to find Kiyoshima. That was in mid.
Look at this boost, though.
Okay, that's really nasty.
That's actually a really cool idea, isn't it? I mean, if they come catwalk and Happy dies, you're in a really weird position, but up until that point, I love it.
That is really sexy. Yeah, they're going to change it up now, and Kenny, you made some noise there, so they know that somebody's close in CT. Device is going to be waiting for that, and they might actually back off and save the gun again. I mean, I suppose why not? You can hand that off to somebody in your CT side, save some money.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much money exactly Kenny has, but I mean, if he's got taken no armor damage, no, I think he's going to have quite enough for an AWP, will he? He's
going to trade with Keo.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He can save that AK for Keo, and Keo can drop for him, so might not be the end of the world here.
Well, nice call here for TSM. I mean, 2 opening frags, rotation back into the B bomb site that was completely empty. Not giving much of a chance for Envy to pick up these rounds, which, I mean, not all of their game plan revolves around, but they very often get a really early boost in every round they play, every half they play, just because even losing the pistol, they're able to bring it back so often. We've got a bit of a sneak going on here from Device. Happy is about to have a very bad day.
Oh!
He is half a second too late, but still a good kill.
That's why you don't pick on Kenny's friends. Get shot in the face. At least Device made the $600 bonus, but yeah, now we get into the fun stuff here, and it doesn't look like there is an AWP picked up. In fact, Kenny's going to hold on to that AK. So this could actually be long-term thinking for Kenny. Save some money, and he could potentially go for an AK later on here, a bit earlier than if he were to spend all of his money this round. But no early aggression, although Zipmix will go ahead and attempt to try and clear something up here on long. No target, though, and no initial kill. This is also very standard stuff here from Envy. No focus on mid, and it seems like TSM have an idea on this. They want the challenge. Kerrigan is actually going to take that off right in there, looking into CT. I mean, Happy used to love this position, used to hang out in CT and see if he could challenge mid. But Kerrigan not finding anything.
Very aggressive move coming out right now. Score is tied at 9-9, and we are looking for a bit of a B push coming out here, even as there's someone on catwalk. They're now out in the middle with 3 people on the TSM side. If they get 1 frag here, that's going to open it up. Now it's a disaster for Kiyoshima inside with the M4. He's got it in hand. He's got plenty of bullets, and he's going to drop the bomb on. Sivnix goes for more, and if he got that shot on the pre, would have been amazing, but he goes down instead, and in the middle, Kerrigan to fall. Device with a nice angle, and this retake, I'm not sure it's even worth it here for Kenny and Happy. If they could get an instant kill, they could try for it, but if they delay another 10 seconds, even 5 seconds, might as well run away.
And look at this, Kenny's actually going to get an op out of this for free. This is big, actually. This is going to save a lot of money going into the next round. He can do something with it. They can try and play around him or just let him sit on some angle. But you got to give it to TSM, just so swift. Also, Apex, man, what was that jump out on the B slope? That was insanity.
Did Kiyoshima throw a flashbang for him? I wasn't quick enough to count that, but
saw the smoke. That was all I saw.
If I think if Kiyoshima put out a flashbang, I kind be okay with it. If it was just like a crazy idea, maybe a bit too much.
I'm wondering if they're like double bluffing each other and stuff, you know, because that's also a go-to strategy for Apex, which is throw down the smoke and then go and challenge an upper dark. But yeah, there's no flash. He's just like, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can't trade 1 for 1.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, okay. They couldn't also know that there were 3 people there. That makes it even more crazy from our point of view. But I think a flashbang would have been the safer option here. Kenny boosted on catwalk. Not going to get a target just yet. But at least we'll see that there is a distinct lack of terrorists in the middle.
And he does manage to make it out of dodge. Kerrigan once again with that AWP. Flash to open things up. Not sure if Kenny spotted the man in lower dark there, but that's Dupree making his way in. Now we got a bit of the crossfire here. So they're actually going to try and set up a little bit more of an aggressive style of defense here, Envy. Trying to challenge in mid. And so far, Kenny, no joy for him. Attempts the wall bang, gets that dunk nade. Nope, not really going to do anything. I mean, TSM are just probing all around the map right now, trying to find the area of weakness. And, well, working their way up Cat so quickly. Kenny definitely not expecting that.
Well, the bomb is in top mid. If NBK found it with that deagle, it looks like he's going to be a little bit too late. They're still fighting up here. Apex going to get the kill, but he goes down now. That leaves 1 person, and backup coming in. It's Kiyoshima licking headshots. He's going to get 2 of them, and Happy's there to help out. It's now 2v1 Device. The bomb is dropped at 39 seconds. Jumping is not a good idea any longer, and Device hits a headshot. It's currently a double. He's going to have to hit 1 more bullet on Happy, and he'll be gone, but neither has any grenade, and there's only 27 seconds here, Semler.
This is all about the fight. Both of them can get the 1-shot headshot here. Well, this might get clever. There it is, the drop in. Perfect play by Device. What a clutch! And you can see the frustration there on Happy's face.
You see Happy turning around as well. like the somehow like the mental game between those two players, that was very cool. They both knew exactly what was coming, so it was just down to a nanosecond between them, and it maybe Happy could have got that kill. That was very interesting.
It's a real pleasure to watch this game right now, but one thing is, if you're a TSM fan, you've kind of experienced like the reverse, what was happening in the first half. You might have had that sinking feeling. Now you're starting to feel a bit better, especially considering dupreeh is waking up, having flashbacks to overpass at this point. Double entry frag on the B site, completely crushing the defense. Apex is going to get the flash, but KGB will shut him down before he can get the job done on dupreeh. And Zipnik's over on the A side catches out NBK. This is just one of those rounds where everything falls apart instantly for Envy. Based off those 2 initial kills, everybody else is trying to move around the map, trying to bring it back, get some kind of control in the round. And well, because they're taking risks, TSM, they're going to be there to punish them.
I mean, rounds like these are a bit strange because it's not down to Envy doing anything, wrong in particular, and it's not a round that TSM can replicate. It's just dupreeh going mad and headshotting 2 people inside B. You can't really rely on every round for that, so I think Envy just going to have to move on here and say that probably won't happen again. Happy doing what he can to try and save this rifle, which will be important. Money is now a huge factor for Envy, because they need to start stacking a lot of it together so they can put up a proper defense here. Zipnik's going to get the kill. I mean, something that we haven't talked maybe too much about, because we keep talking about Kenny as the AWP, but I mean, they will happily run Kenny and Happy as a double AWP, and on Dust 2 CTs, that's a huge strength. They just don't have the money for it.
They keep getting reset and just gambling at the beginning of the half, basically going for these kinds of buys where Kenny, okay, he's stuck on the AK initially. He tried to set it up. He saved an AWP, so they should have had even a little bit more money there to work with, but right now I think that Envy, they're getting caught off guard by just how aggressive TSM are coming through for it, because right now, okay, this is a tactical pause called by Envy. They have to slow things down and try and figure out what's different about this. They're pushing up Cat very quickly. They're pushing into Upper Dark very quickly. They're just not used to this aggression, Envy.
I was wondering if we could have done some lip reading there from Happy, what he's saying to his team.
Give me a cam. I can take a shot at it. Give me
something like, "Les Danishes are gonna get wrecked."
Les Danois.
All right. I don't know. I obviously don't know very much French.
No.
The extent of my French is adding "le" in front of almost everything.
Exactly. Le baguette.
But honestly, I mean, if I was TSM right now, I would sort of be torn between either thinking, or everything we've been doing on the second half seems to be working, so just keep doing it. Don't worry about whatever they're cooking up, because our game plan is solid right now. But at the same time, at the top level, these pauses, these tactical timeouts have been proven super effective. Obviously, the team that does it to the perfection is Fnatic. Oh.
I just had to give that to Thor real quick. All right, what were you saying?
I'm saying Fnatic is obviously the team that's perfected this whole idea of pausing and then winning the following round. I think Envy are going to be quite capable as well. So, I mean, TSM... Oh, headshot! Hiroshima is gone! That definitely was not part of the plan.
Look at how many deagles they had. I think they had 4 deagles and a 5-7 bot this round. EnVyUs are insane. Well, surprise, surprise. And actually, that 5-7 is going to work! And Kenny finds the headshot on Cajun. Okay, this is definitely going according to plan now. They actually have a gun to work with as well. He can hand that over to Kenny if he wants. Happy will catch Device off guard.
Wow.
This is you can't plan for this kind of stuff, though.
Carrigan not going to hit the mid-air shot there. They were jumping inside TSM. I mean, actually what they did makes sense. I was about to say, why did they go and be like that? But they got the shot like Hiroshima. They're going to be thinking, well, there's only one person in there probably. Then there's 2 with pistols, and they're really angry. Apex going to be taking down Carrigan. This is a beautiful round for Envy. They're playing so well here, and this is going to bring it right back. I mean, if not, winning this round means it's pretty much anybody's game. Shot from Kenny, and the round is done. 12-10. I mean, okay, so everyone at home, this isn't like they paused and said, let's play like this to win the round. They're just so good with pistols. What they probably planned for is the round that's coming now.
Exactly.
And, I mean, I don't even know. This is...
Wow, that was a thing of beauty.
This should have been the start.
But I mean, exactly, right? And now it gets even better because now they have all the money. They can do whatever they want. Double up, sure. All the nades, kits galore. I mean, this is now Envy's round to turn things around here in this half. 12-10, TSM still in the lead. And TSM, of course, plenty of money still to go for a full buy of their own. They have the AWP on Kerrigan. No joy for him this time trying to gap someone.
Once again, a bit light on the defense in the middle here for Envy, and that's cost them before, because it means TSM can get out into the middle so close here. The bomb is still at top mid, though, so no one's picked it up for TSM. And there's a great grenade on HyperX. He actually walked right into it, but hiding in the corner is Happy. He gets a kill. Kiyoshima, too, and Karrigan is going to miss a shot. Happy wants a challenge, but the Danish sniper not going to give it up so easily. NBK gets a refrag there on Device, and it's down to a 2v3. Out on long with the bomb is going to be Sipnix.
And that right there. There it is. Oh, the perfect flash and the 180 MLG scope shot from Kenny. Okay, then everybody is low on EnVyUs' side, and Karrigan is just hunting for some overkill, but he will get caught out in the open, down to 1 HP. He needs to hang in here, but he actually has to reload an op. That's not every day you get to see that. But unfortunately, the bomb is dropped on the other side of the map for him, and he's running out of time. Down to 25 seconds. He's hoofing it back into T-spawn, and this smacks of trying to save this gun because, the money right there is not there for TSM.
If we get a replay of what happened to Sipnix over at long, what you really should notice, and this is one of the ways I always use to try and identify like high-level players, like really quality players, is the idea of changing targets to whoever is the most dangerous. Because the first target that Sipnix had wasn't of any threat to him. That guy couldn't kill him. All he had to do was back up once. Kenny, who's closer, could, on the other hand. So he actually switches mid-spray. That is incredibly hard. So you need like a super hyper level of focus to actually sort of switch between targets before any one of them dies to just get the most out of it. So look at this. He starts firing here, puts a cover. Then he realizes, wait a minute, this guy can kill me no matter what. So I'm going to have to switch now. The flashbang ruins all of it, but it's not easy to do that. Obviously, it would have been even sicker if Sipnix had just killed both of them, which he was, a bullet away from doing, but still, just a tiny detail. It's like a sign of quality, I'd say.
And it's also showing that TSM still have some fight. Even down and out and around like that, they're able to do some damage and nearly bring it back. They're always dangerous. Both of these teams so chock full of talent, of skill, raw skill, that anything is possible. But this is starting to get a little scary here for TSM. EnVyUs getting momentum their way. This is a round where they can actually build some bank, build some money. And Happy, he's looking for a variation. I love it. They stacked 3 guys earlier on B with Happy, right? Even HyperX dying early, Happy was still able to bring it back. Now he's going to take a different approach. He's going to be boosted up on the boxes, and this makes it very interesting if a B split comes through.
Oh, good refrag there from Device. Kiyoshima alone on the bomb site. Happy in the middle defending, though, and that's obviously very important. Kiyoshima just needs to stay alive. Doesn't have to really challenge and fight them yet. He can just wait for backup to come in here. All they have is this AWP, so as long as they don't give any easy targets here, Envy, they should be able to equalize the score. And there it is. Kiyoshima will present himself as a target.
The shoulder peek, and Dupree now waiting in mid as well. He can catch this man out. NBK, does he check below him? Dupree's in the best spot, but NBK checks so thorough. Does not leave anything to chance, and then hits a peekaboo shot on the Device. KJB now with the AWP, but NBK not to be stopped this round. What clean kills from him. 3 headshots.
That's one way to shut down a round, isn't it?
It's just another example, right? And okay, we just had 2 clear examples of like the support players and how just excellent they are. Sipnix in that one round, and then NBK. These guys are playing the air quotes like support roles, but at any point in time, they can just blow up and take over, just end a round.
And this is what Thorin was trying to point out as well, that it's really hard to define one clear superstar on this team just because they all have some pretty ridiculous peaks. That's going to tie it up, ladies and gentlemen, at 12-12, moving into the 25th round. And it's hard to call right now. It seems like they've both got rounds on either half here, so now it's just down to trying to find a way to grind out the last couple of rounds. I mean, TSM haven't done their tactical timeout, I think, yet, so they could still pull it through. See if they could come up with a plan of their own if it starts to fail too much.
I think if they lose this round, it's going to get to that point. And Kenny starting off strong, taking out Device. Happy will get spotted, though, a little bit slow on the peak, but what a flick from Kenny. And this could be it. I mean, they are trying to push up here. There it is, the push from Device, or no, rather Dupree, but he gets returned on by HyperX. And it's going to be Karrigan now, 1v3 situation. Bomb dropped out in the open on Gandalf, looking for the headshot, but he will be denied in the end by HyperX. 2 kills for HyperX in the end. And this is starting to feel like...
This round felt a lot like TSM were doing like, just like, trying to get fights and peaks on Catwalk, but it slowly sort of turned into a push, which it didn't seem like there was too much of a plan there. Just like every person who followed up after the last dead one, trying to sort of pick it up and see, can I get the refrag? Can I get the refrag? And
it's like picking with the bomb as well. We noticed with the replay there, but the man who peeked Kenny initially had the bomb and dropped it on Cat when he died.
Yeah.
So after that, you're kind of committed to it. You have to try and get control of that part of the map because you need that bomb back if you're on the T side. A bit of a Wow, this is all over the place. In fact, Cajun going to be able to finally remove NBK. And Kenny trying to use a bazooka right now to kill a man. I mean, none of them have Kevlar, but he's going to go ahead and try and op him regardless.
They've stolen the rifle down there. It's going to be handed off to Sipnix, and Cajun's got that Deagle still, so it's got the Pre. So we'll see. They are kind of boxed in here on long. See Terra spawn. It's going to be Happy. Takes one. Peaks maybe almost a bit too long there. Got to be careful. He's going to get a double and looking for the triple. Sipnix will be pre-firing him around the corner. He's alone, and Envy, they're now very close to stealing this map away.
They've got him boxed. He can't go to Longhouse, and he can't go back into T-spawn. Now life gets a little bit difficult for Zipmix. It turns into the waiting game. And on an eco round, you kind of want to die, because they're never going to let you hold on to this rifle. As soon as that clock ticks down, they'll hunt you down, so he has to actually try and make something happen here. He's got 2 flashes to work with, but he chooses to peek instead, and Kenny is there to end him. This
14-12 at the moment.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, Dust 2 as well. This is the map that the desk we're basically saying, you know, this is TSM's map. They are going to win this map to start this best of 3. But Envy showing that they are perfectly capable of putting up one hell of a fight. Now we have to see if they can close it, or if we're going to have a repeat of the Fnatic situation that we got in Cologne. Not to, you know, twist the blade in the wound or anything here, but that's Dust 2. You know, they might still be getting flashbacks.
But a comeback right now would be great for TSM to set them off on a high note right into Inferno. We know how good Envy are on Inferno, so the pressure is going to be on. It's not like TSM played badly. Inferno's still a very close map, but I feel like TSM would be just a bit down on themselves if they didn't get this one. Pop flash in on Catwalk and Device waiting. You can tell no one is there. Kenny is actually all the way over at the B-bomb side.
They're very well trained there with that peek as well. Device, you can see dead on, would have just had to click mouse 1 to get the kill.
Sorry, Kenny said car.
Yeah, much more of a passive hold. Much more of a passive hold here actually coming out from Kenny. And this is where Envy really want to make TSM sweat. They're down to 50 seconds. Flash is going out, not going to be super effective, and the spray is there for NBK. He holds his own, he knows that a second man is there as well. Kenny strikes, takes out Dupree, misses the follow-up shot though, and now he has to worry about Long, and he just decides to go jumping in to take care of the job himself. Kenny has no fear.
And Carrigan was so low on health, he kind of ran away. I mean, this is 2v3, yes, but Carrigan and Device are very low on health. Cajun might have to try and do this on his own. They don't have any grenades on the CT side, but they have an AWP on Kenny, and he shots Device down through the box, looking for a second shot here. Gotta be careful, Cajun. If you go down, Carrigan is alone, and that's a nice headshot for the double kill. Kiyoshima now sneaking close. The smoke is up as well, and it's gonna help Cajun stay hidden. Kiyoshima walking on the box, sprays and takes him out, and now the plant, where is it for? This Molotov's gonna land right on top of Kiyoshima. Can he stay alive? 3, 2, it's gonna go through the defuse. Here it is, 15 rounds, and Envy, they pull it off in spite of Kiyoshima burning alive.
Did he have 3 HP when that went off? Literally the last tick of that Molotov.
That's twice with TSM not having enough time to defuse. This time, Envy with 3 health left. What a round.
Oh my god, 3 HP. Well, that's the kind of nail-biting finish there. 15-12 now, and Envy, well, they're 1 round away from taking the first map. TSM still plenty of money though, thanks to that bomb. Thanks to that bomb plant. They can get the up on Device once again, but now they really have to just claw their way in. But look at this, TSM has slowed down the pace. Instead of rushing in, being aggressive like they were at the beginning of the half, they've definitely changed it up. They're looking for the pick play. And Envy not going aggressive either. I mean, Kenny has taken a position on Cap, but he decides to play it safe, not go for a JW repeat.
He got 2 kills there earlier, but a lot of pressure is on them here if they lose this round. I mean, it's not like TSM is far away from getting into overtime territory, and we don't have an infinite amount of money here either, so they really need to be careful that they don't let the Danes get back into the game somehow. Smoke up and a quick rush here, and this is a really, really fast smoke, so it might be a little bit difficult for Envy to rotate on in inside the bomb side. Happy, Kiyoshima going down in the corner. Apex, this is a flawless execution for TSM, and Carrigan even spraying down Kenny and CT spawn. If we get the scoreboard, we need to know how much money Envy has here. They've got a fair bit, so they can obviously buy next round even if Happy's a bit low. But just a detail on how that B split works and why it's different from the standard one. Nice shot from Sipnix. it has to do with the fact that they are actually on the CT side of middle when they put out that smoke. So it means there isn't an initial bounce on the wall. It doesn't bounce twice on the ground. It's there and it goes off, and then you have 3 seconds to tell your teammates it's a B split, and they obviously weren't in time for it. So it's a very fast execute, and you can't always do it. But it goes back to Envy being less defensive in middle.
And it looks to Happy. I mean, it's also down to the timing on Happy. Happy is trying to push through that smoke, thinking, I have a couple seconds where they're going to be looking at B slope, their backs are going to be to me. No, they're already in position thanks to how fast that smoke goes up.
Yeah.
And TSM don't have to worry about stabbing in the back. It all works out perfectly for TSM. What a flawless round.
Yeah. But they are not out of the woods yet. One mistake and Envy's going to run away with this first map here, and they know it as well. They've got another 2 to go, TSM, before we can see overtime. 3 people holding on long, and Karrigan caught with a grenade in hand, 1 health, and then 0 as NBK puts the last bullet in. Now, the rest of TSM, they really can't make it through. They're going to have to fall back here, so not the best start for TSM.
Time to change it up, exactly. I mean, they've taken significant damage. They still have some nades to work with. Couple of smokes, 3 Molotovs, and a flash. But they're very low on Envy's side as well. With a minute left, this is so much time now. But they're just trying to keep the pressure on here. Still does look like they want to try and head towards that A site, though, TSM. They're gathering momentum.
He hit that shot device. MBK down to 29. At 40 seconds. Smoke goes up here, and I think this is an attempt to fake it. Not a very convincing one. We'll see if it's going to work out. They've got another smoke. They've got 3 Molotovs here to try and just force Envy out of positions to pre. If he wins this fight against Apex, it's going to get ugly for Kiyoshima in the back. NBK gets the 1. Dupree's going to get the shot here, but Kiyoshima's still alive. And now it's all on Cajun. 1v4, 20 seconds, I think. Dust 2 is all but done here for TSM.
Cajun, you can see he's focused. He's trying to line it up, but he needs to find the headshot onto Apex, and all Apex has to do is sit behind that box. He doesn't even need to peek. 8 seconds left. Cajun will be removed by Kiyoshima in the end, and Envy will be picking up the first map in this best of 3.
That round with the defuse there, inside the Molotov, I was doing an interview earlier today, and someone asked me, you know, what is it about Counter-Strike that makes it so fun to watch? I think the feeling that everyone had at that moment kind of sums it up.
It's that high.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful game here to start off the grand finals with.
Wonderful is the word there, Anders. Exactly the word I was going to use. Incredible start to this grand final at DreamHack London. EnVyUs somehow overcoming TSM on Dust 2. And we didn't call that one at all on the desk here. Just an amazing start.
That's the exact score I called, actually, I think.
But
for the other team.
For the other team, though.
So you got almost entirely wrong. So well done, though. You did like a similar move where you try and take credit for it.
His
anyway,
website's getting shut down. He needs every bit of credit right now.
What was the problem for TSM on the CT side? We talk about Cajun B being the talisman of that side. He was almost missing. It seems like the tactics EnVyUs were employing were there just to shut him down and lock him out of the CT side. We saw the smokes going down to CT spawn on the corner, specific flashbangs to take him out of the game. And it seemed at that point he didn't have a chance to actually do anything with his normal antics on the car. His rotations weren't great either. So it was the second half he picked it up and he was getting more frags. But his normal play and the person we looked to for TSM in that CT half wasn't there for some reason.
Well, and that's why I highlighted Zipix, because he's one of the main players that allows them to, if they want to smoke off and drop down into that CT position, he allows Cajun that freedom by covering off that position. And he actually did step up and have a decent half, but Cajun just didn't hit shots. There was that boost they tried to do at Catwalk. They failed the jump, and then when he got up there, he took damage. And that's like something you don't fail. Like, that's such an easy boost to do.
We're going to get into saying lots of nice things about EnVyUs, no doubt, very shortly. But just before we do, there was one special moment in that final. This here, just absolutely blown away by this. That, like,
here's the thing: if he hadn't have had 100 health, he would definitely be dead because he only has 3 at the end.
And actually, the amount of time, as well.
The amount of time it basically had to start defusing like a second before it comes down as well. Because they always say you can only survive like 5 seconds within the Molotov.
Yeah,
and that's basically how long you need. Look, so he just starts it before it came in.
But I mean, just incredible smart play from Karrigan. You know, like, he's so low, he threw that Molotov right in the place. You know, knew exactly where the plant was, and just look how close it is. It's ridiculous.
Has to be said though, what is weird?
Absolutely ridiculous.
What is weird there is that he didn't actually come up with it as well though. Like, why not throw it and then run out?
I guess what we were saying. Assume he's going to come off the bomb and the Molotov lands on it.
Right, and I said that to you right away. I was like, if he peeks him, he's already low. It's one shot. But at the same time, if he's not on the bomb, then the Molotov extinguishes and he gets right back on the defuse. He's only got 6 HP.
And the thing is, he did get the kill, remember? So the gamble in a way made sense.
Hindsight's always 20/20, but just an amazing, phenomenal play by Karrigan. But of course, all for nothing.
Thing is, though, that actually does sum up the key that really decided this map, which is think how many rounds there were where EnVyUs players had they all died, but the other guy couldn't defuse the bomb. Device at least two times had it. And then there's that round where they all die and still defuse the bomb.
1 second, 3 times, you're back at
That's so rare that ever happens in a game. In fact, there was 2 times, we were joking, okay, that the new secret CT meta is that you purposely die just in time to crush their spirits by like, you're 1 second off. But obviously that's not really what happened. But, but think of it, 3 huge rounds, gun rounds that go the way of Envy.
And we knew it was going to be close. So those gun rounds obviously make a huge, huge difference within the context of the final.
But a fabulously exciting map, though.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, again, we knew that this series would deliver. It already has. But let's talk about EnVyUs. I mean, we were all talking about, this is TSM's map, they're the best team in the world on Dust 2 right now. I mean, all of that's true, but EnVyUs, they've overcome them here, and they've done it in fine style, and Kenny S was absolutely electric.
Yeah, Kenny S was great, but I actually want to highlight something else, and that was on the T side. We obviously talked about KGB having issues and the A executions that were solid. The other thing was that entry party we talked about. Apex and Kiyoshima, every time they went into B, if they didn't get the first entry, they got the trade kill.
Yeah.
And then the way that TSM play B, okay, occasionally you'll have Device and Dupree in the site, but usually one of them is in mid. So then you're playing a retake game on B, and that site's not easy to retake. So oftentimes they had bomb plants on B that just weren't even sustainable for TSM. They had to bail out and save.
Yeah. And the thing was, EnVyUs really did win it with the T-side play. It was the amount of T-side rounds that they got that put them in the positions where they could sustain TSM doing the comeback. And the thing with EnVyUs that used to make them so good on Dust 2, they used to be the best team on Dust 2 because they could always get like a 9 or 10 rounds out if they needed.
In comparison, though, TSM, they won both pistols that game as well, has to be remembered. And they actually went 6-0 up on their T side. They had a really great start to the game. They said they'd done their homework on this team, and you could see on their gun runs as well, they knew exactly what the mid setup EnVyUs would be employing. They actually got 4 players out there middle almost 3 or 4 times, getting out without any confrontation whatsoever, knew exactly what they had to do getting that B bomb site. And it wasn't until they actually started rolling the AWP, EnVyUs actually could start locking that down. But when they were 6-0 up, it looked like TSM were getting back into that series, and we thought they were going to run away with it.
And I'll emphasize it again, Kenny S was absolutely electric. There you go. I've just done the exact same thing, so let's talk about him for a bit.
I knew that's where you were going.
Yeah.
I kind of threw you off there, I'm sorry.
No, ain't nothing. They're all very good points here.
Well, he's actually been pretty...
So much to talk about.
It's been quiet, this tournament. We haven't seen him play to this sort of level, and what a time to turn up. I think at the last major, we talked about his final play not being great, as he, on Hobble, for example, got 4 or 5 frags. This time he turns up to the final, first map, drops 25. So he's ready, he's on form, and that's great to see. What a time to turn up to the tournament.
There were hints of it as well leading into this game. Even, I know it's against Easy Skins at the start of the tournament, but just his form alone, he had the confidence to scope in, pre-scope corners, which we haven't seen him do much. He's been trying to go for that really quick jiggle peek or the crouch peek since the op nerf, I guess, what was it, March, April? It was actually April 1st, because I actually thought it was a joke valve, but it wasn't. And then it turns out that
firing shots all over the place.
I know. He's
calm down.
From the Thorin school of abuse. Like,
I've been standing beside this guy for too long this weekend. No, but as well, I mean, there was the clutch that he had against Easy. Every game he had a moment, and we haven't seen moments like that from him. So there was hints that this was going to happen in this game. And again, if he turns up, the way that EnVyUs has a core that doesn't even necessarily need him at all times, it's just
We've
that much more
got
impossible.
some footage of the monster in action. Here he is, Kenny S, turning up big in the final. And actually, this is
this was another one of the diffuse rounds.
Yeah, and a clip
here.
I
think this is actually where he
with
gets
the
killed by
AK.
Device.
This is it. A Device misses by a second here. They cut the camera away to the crowd because
What
it
was
was
funny
10
as well,
seconds.
the reason why I emphasized these 2 rounds, the ones where they won, and there was another one where he was at Catwalk, an EnVyUs player, and again, Device couldn't defuse, is because actually in both situations, the EnVyUs player could have won 100% just by not peeking. They actually always gave just like a little window of hope, and then it was not possible
These
anyway.
split-second decisions, especially in the grand final, a lot of pressure here. You're not going to make those the perfect calls every single time, and that shows. That's what makes finals so exciting.
Yeah. Well, no, the key thing is in those sorts of situations, what I've noticed is usually the right approach is after the fact you can break it down and go, right, this person had this much health, there was this much time. Usually in the moment, the best decision is just to go with your gut. Like if your gut tells you, I'll take the fight, I think I'll win it, it's better to do that than the second guess and go, oh no, wait, because then they wait too long. And that's when usually things go amiss, I think.
Hesitation is fatal. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for your thoughts. We're going to have to go to a commercial break. It's only going to be 8 minutes long, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about Inferno. Can TSM come back against EnVyUs, or is the curse going to continue? Please do join us.